markets and assets are lower today, but given all the talk of panic and contagion over the weekend, are you slightly surprised they're not even lower?
No, there's definitely been a nervous reaction in markets, but really the fallout has been relatively contained. I think markets view Cyprus as a relatively unique case, owing to obviously the relatively small size of the economy and the enormous banking sector, and also clearly the lack of non-deposit creditors at Cypriot banks.
European shares are down only 3/4 or 2/3 of 1%. Spain, Italy, only 2%. I mean, these moves are not unprecedented by any means over the last few months and years, are they?
Certainly, you know, and certainly not in relation to what we saw last summer, and even the reaction following the undecided or the Italian election. Clearly, markets remain anaesthetised by the central bank liquidity. The ECB's undertaking to certainly stand behind the liquidity of euro area banks and potentially, obviously, euro area sovereigns as well.
Now, of course, the banks, as I mentioned at the top, are underperforming, but anywhere between 2, 3, 4, 5% down, depending on which country you look at. What's the biggest risk for the Eurozone and European banks now, in your view?
I think definitely in the near term, I think focus will definitely centre most likely on the Italian banks. I mean, they're really the only peripheral banking sector that is yet to go through any sort of official restructuring or recapitalisation. The Bank of Italy is obviously looking for banks to increase provisioning. Impaired loans are continuing to accumulate at a rapid pace, and bank provisioning clearly hasn't kept pace. So I think in the very near term, I think Italian banks are most likely to face the most immediate pressure. Further down the track, well, you know, it really it depends on how depositors and bank funding markets now react to future banking crises should they materialise in, say, Italy or Spain.
But future banking crises, one element of that you would assume would be a run on banks, deposit flight. There's a lot of talk about that being a risk, but can you quantify that risk? I mean, is this something that's likely to happen?
Well, we don't see it happening in the near term. We definitely don't envisage queues outside of bank branches in Italy and Spain. But I think certainly it's something that will live long in the memory of euro area depositors elsewhere in the eurozone, particularly in peripheral markets. Should a further bank recapitalising or recapitalisation or restructuring be required?